Good morning, Americans and humans. This is your favorite alien here on the morning of Tuesday, May 16th, 2023. And today's commentary is on why you became extinct. The first step that you should have done, which you never got to. In a society, when you're trying to build a good society, the first step is understanding two things: supreme being and life. One of them is the question, is there a supreme being? And it's not yes or no, it's always maybe. But you being in base 2 always say no, because we have all this other stuff. That is human-made stuff. Do you know that there is a supreme being? No. Is there a supreme being? You can't say yes either. But you can say maybe. We're still trying to find out after all this time. Our ancestors couldn't, our descendants may not, but we're always looking for a supreme being. Are there going to be people that will take advantage of this? If you let them, yes. There's beings out there that can present themselves as a supreme being, even though they're as you, flawed to the nth degree as you human beings are. The next step is life. Is life eternal? No. Is life 100% sacred? No. Should we venerate life? Yes. But you must determine, and that's why you have a problem with abortion. It's one of your things that's in your civilization that you need, whether you like it or not. It's like your old guy, Robert Ripley. Believe it or not. In this case, like it or not, you need it. And also on life. When does life in an existence begin? Well, that is a touchy issue. It took us centuries to get around that issue. When does life in an existence begin? Here in America, it's easy. Come to Grand Villa. Go to Atherton Place in Marietta, Georgia, or Maple Heights in Allen Park, Michigan. Go to Sterling Court in Deltona, Florida. There's a lot of these places. The Grand in Kentucky, Louisville to be exact. There's a lot of these places that old folks are in. And that can tell you when life ends and existence begins. In our culture, in our race, whether we are humanoids, insectoids, arboreals, reptilians, or whatever you are, the lifespans are different. Some arboreals can live up to 500 years. Some reptilians have been known to live up to 800 years of your years. And some insectoids, 2,000. That's a lot, huh? Some people would view them as immortal. Yeah, but no. And they have the same custom, and they always had the same problem. When does life end and existence begins? In our human culture, or humanoid culture that we have a thing that you have dealt with in some of your science fiction programs here. specifically Star Trek The Next Generation, where you had the episode about the Resolution. We had what is known as Veterans Day. They called it the Resolution in that Star Trek episode, but we call it Veterans Day. We venerate our elders. Some of your cultures here on the planet do the same thing. But we also give them a choice. Some want to live to an extreme old age. That's okay. In my culture, you can live up to, the most I've heard is this one lady who lived up to 440 years. But mostly it's between 280 and 340. That's where most of my people live. A lot more than your 80 and 90s over here, huh? Maybe 100 for some. But here, you don't have that choice. You have the choice to exist. And you should still have that choice, but it should be on your terms, not on the state's terms or your family's terms. And what I mean about that is, when you get a certain age, like 60, you should say, I want to live to be this certain age. Or I want to be as long as I can exist, no matter what happens to me. As in the case of Mr. Hawking, a renowned scientist. His mind worked, yes, and he had the right to exist, but he was existing because that's all he had. As far as his human body, he couldn't use it. He needed assistance from artificial means. And that's okay. There's a lot of people that do that in my planet. But I would say only about 8% that do that want to be to an old age. And some of them, like I said, some of them are pretty good. A few. But they're the blessed ones, as we call them, the blessed ones. But here, especially in the United States, you dump people into places where I'm at, Granville and the other places I named before. Most of you get dumped. And when you reach old age, you'll get dumped too. So those of you that are in the 20s and 30s, don't say, oh, it doesn't affect me. Imagine what the situation will be 30, 40 years down the line, and what people will be in power in the state 30 to 40 years down the line. They could be like Hitler with inferior, and then you're gone. Or they could be just dump them in there, we'll do the same thing. Just like they did with people with sickness that they couldn't cure back in the early 20th century, like TB, tuberculosis. Yeah, they threw you into this one place, and it's still there in Louisville, Kentucky. When you come down from the south and you see the hill and you see this building up in the hill, that's what it was, where everybody in the continental United States got dumped for tuberculosis. In my case, in my planet, if you reach a certain age and you don't want to live anymore, you could say, I've had enough and let's have a party. And that is an acceptable thing. Because it's your life to do as you see fit. It's no other body's life but yours. If you don't have that choice, then you really don't have a society, and you don't have people that understand a society or comprehend it. So see, Americans, you got to get past these 2 points. Is there a supreme being? That's been asked for over 20,000 years in my race, and we still don't know. Yours is probably about the same time. maybe longer. Depends on how the Neanderthals and all the rest of your subspecies thought about up there when they looked up in the sky. But we have more technology than you do. We never bother with AI because that's dangerous. We've seen what danger that thing is. You guys don't even get to that point yet. You're basing your technology on AI, and that's going to come back to bite you. We use it as an assistance, not as a take-all charge, because it alleviates you guys having to do menial stuff. And that's the problem with you humans, especially Americans. You want to do the less you can and still have money. We never used money in the last 1,200 years because we saw the evils of it. The evils of artificial religion. Beliefs you can have. Religion can be dangerous. Political power can be dangerous. And look what politics is doing to your society. It's destroying it from the left to the right. You're getting blown up for something you don't even know. Except that one day there'll be a bomb coming to your house, and, well, you'll be incinerated in seconds. Is that what you want, Americans and humans? Seems to be. Is life worth venerating? You betcha. Is life worth living? Yes. Is it worth existing? Well, that depends on the person. And they should have that right, whether they want to or not. Just like Mr. Ripley says, believe it or not. This is your favorite alien. Good day.